All right, peace, peace, black family. So it seems that this COVID-19 has been weaponized against Africans in America. And so once again, Africans in America have put the carriage before the horse, meaning that we've seen the reports that came out and said, oh, Africa is going to be ravaged by the coronavirus, right? And then reports came out later on saying, hey, what's going on? Why isn't Africa being affected by the coronavirus like that? And so we were cheering like, yeah, Africans can't get it. Yeah, only white people getting it, which to some degree is partly true because of our genetic makeup and the things that protect us, the antibodies, the things that we have different from Europeans. But we got too happy too fast because the one thing we did not realize that a lot of Instagram pages like myself, like Oda Yinka, like Goddess Ayana, like I just can't, just so many people have been saying for the longest is that our diet is different from continental Africans. We have the highest level of diabetes, of asthma, of this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And we've been telling people, hey, let's change your diet. Let's change the way you eat. Let's do this. Dr. Sebi been around. Layla Africa been around. I mean, I could just name so many people who have put in countless hours, made countless posts about us eating correctly and getting back to an African diet. Now, that doesn't mean all Africans in Africa have an African diet. I'm not saying that either. But here we know that we being poisoned. I mean, come on, like Marifa Circle at the Instagram page back in the day, Pro Black Thought, like we all were posting things like, look, man, these people are poisonous, the GMOs and the this and the that. And now the coronavirus has hit the black community. And listen what Donald Trump and his advisors have to say about that.
This is a real problem, and it's showing up very strongly in our data on the African American community, and we're doing everything in our power to address this challenge. It's a tremendous challenge. It's terrible. And provide support to African American citizens of this country who are going through a lot, but it's been disproportional. They're getting hit very, very hard. In fact, while we have Tony here, I'd like to maybe have you come up and address that one, and then I'll continue. But if you could address that, it would be great, Tony, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. We have a particularly difficult problem of an exacerbation of a health disparity. We've known literally forever that diseases like diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and asthma are disproportionately afflicting the minority populations, particularly the African Americans. Unfortunately, when you look at the predisposing conditions that lead to a bad outcome with coronavirus, the things that get people into ICUs that require intubation and often lead to death, they are just those very comorbidities that are unfortunately disproportionately prevalent in the African American population. So we're very concerned about that. It's very sad. It's nothing we can do about it right now except to try and give them the best possible care to avoid those complications. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. And Tony, I think you're going to have some pretty accurate numbers over the next few days, right? But they are they're very nasty numbers, terrible numbers.
Now, does that not seem like they knew that this was going to have the effect that it's having on the black community? Because they knew that we suffer from underlying health issues. See, this is chess, not checkers. This is chess, not checkers. And again, we put that carriage before the horse, and we expect to move somewhere. And now we're sitting dumbfounded while the numbers go up, and black people become in America the leading people dying from this coronavirus. Because we have a group of people in America who don't want to hear no black consciousness. Even though black consciousness can save your life, they don't want to hear that black talk. They don't. It reminds me of a passage I read in Barack Obama's book where he was talking about meeting a Muslim man.
After a basketball at the university one day, Ray and I happened to strike up a conversation with a tall, gaunt man named Malik, who played with us now and again. Malik mentioned that he was a follower of the Nation of Islam. But that since Malcolm had died and he had moved to Hawaii, He no longer went to mosque or political meetings, although he still sought comfort in solitary prayer. One of the guys sitting nearby must have overheard us, for he leaned over with a sagacious expression on his face. Y'all talking about Malcolm, huh? Malcolm tells us like it is, no doubt about it. Yeah, the other guy said, but I tell you what, you won't see me moving to no African jungle anytime soon. Or some goddamn desert somewhere sitting on a carpet with a bunch of Arabs. No, sir. And you won't see me stop eating no ribs either. Gotta have them ribs. And pussy too. Don't Malcolm talk about no pussy? Now you know that ain't gonna work. I noticed Ray laughing and looked at him sternly. What are you laughing at? I said to him. You never even read Malcolm. You don't even know what he says. Ray grabbed the basketball out of my hand and headed for the opposite rim. I don't need no books to tell me how to be black, he shouted over his head. I started to answer, then turned to Malik, expecting some words of support. But the Muslim said nothing, his bony face set in a faraway smile.
And see, that's what it is. So you have a group of black people in these states, African people, who will die because of their ignorance, because of their lack of understanding, their lack of wanting to understand. Never forget, before you even spell the word ignorance, you first must spell ignore, which means that when you ignore some information, you are being complicit in your ignorance. And if you believe in the Bible, which I don't, but if you believe in the Bible, there's a verse that says, my people shall perish for lack of knowledge. And now we're looking at people who have underlying health issues who are dropping off in our community like flies. Because when Dr. Sabi came along, when Brother Polite came along, when Young Pharaoh, Umar Johnson, whoever you want to name, were coming along talking about dietary and, growing our own food or whatever people was talking about. Other people was like, man, you talking that Hotep shit. Man, I'm finna eat me these ribs. I'm gonna eat me these chitlins. I'm gonna eat this griot. I'm gonna eat this bun and fouille. Like, they ain't want to hear it. I'm going to eat all this starch. And so now we're reaping the effects of that. For the most part. Not all of us. Because some of us was like, all right, hold on. Let me take this information and utilize this within my life. Because that's what black consciousness is a antibody, is a vaccine for white racist society. Which means that when they try to inject us with their bullshit, we have a cure for that. That's what black consciousness is. So y'all was just thinking of some hateful shit. Man, y'all just hateful. Y'all just don't like white folk. No, nigga, we trying to save your mental. No, nigga, we trying to save your body. We're trying to tell you that the path that you're living, the Hennessy, the weed, the Black and Milds, all that shit, set up for something just like this. Just like this. That's a setup. Now they lined you up like bowling pins, and it's going to roll that motherfucking pin through the black community and going to say, well, the stats are devastating. I mean, they did it to themselves if they just would have put the chicken down. Too much grease. This is what we've been talking about. But you have the group of people in our community who, their focus is partying and escaping. But what they don't understand, they're trying to escape racism of white supremacy or the effects of racism of white supremacy. And you can't escape that by going to the club. So let this be a lesson for those who still have time. Black African consciousness is not a fashion show. It's not no shit you put on to be like, oh, look, me, I got an African chain, or I got a dashiki, oh, yeah, I'm African. No, it is a way of life. It is an antibody. It is a vaccine to white racist society. It is a cure to the racist society. Because I don't know if y'all know, a few weeks ago, I don't know if I had coronavirus or I had the little brother of coronavirus. I had maybe the corona cousin. I don't know what the hell it was. But I felt like a fat white woman was just breaking my chest. I could not breathe. And what did I do? I'm not going to lie. I'm going to keep it 100. I almost went and got tested. Then I had my ancestors said, what you doing? Stupid. You ain't finna go get tested. I turned my ass around. I went back home. And I called up some herbalists. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Melanated Glow. I caught up some herbalists, caught up some people. They hit me with some, breathe this, do that, do that. I'm back, baby, guerrilla style. That's what African consciousness is. Don't get me wrong, I almost broke. Because my chest was hurting, boy. I ain't ever felt no pain like that before in my life. Ever. Where I was trying to get mucus out and there was no mucus. So I don't know what that was, but all I know is African consciousness is what brought me back. So y'all out here playing, we trying to save y'all lives, but at the end of the day, only you can take this information. We often say knowledge is power, but we don't seek knowledge. So with that being said, again, this ain't no fashion show. This ain't no who is smarter than anybody else. No, because when I need answers, I reach out. Do you know? Tell me about this. Show me this. And like, this ain't, we doing it for the wrong reasons. We doing it for the wrong reason. Even people within the community who supposed to be woke getting messed up because they ain't even woke for real. Running around here talking some shenanigans. But with that being said, man, I ain't gonna ring your ear off to that. With that being said, man, till next time, think black, stay black, love black, support black. And that's real African black power.